Can you hear me now, Cynthia? I hadn't actually sent it live yet. It lets you come in before I actually turned it on. That which was my bad. Do you hear me now? Photo says still waiting. Hi, Miss Southern Belle. Can you hear me, dear? What's up, Jeff? I know you got him. I really dig those coins. I liked watching, and I definitely love the spa voice. Oh, yeah, this one here's a heathen. Tor, come on. Get up here. Get up here and say hi. That's my American Bulldog. I got two of them. They do not like each other, not one little bit. So one's in the other room right now. The other one's out here. We have to keep them separate. So does anybody come on tonight on the live stream network? Or do I have a little time? Yeah, the other one's bigger. The other one's about 50 pounds more. Man, it's so cool because every one of you that's jumped in here for a few minutes are people that I absolutely love watching your shows and commenting and talking to. Hey, I will definitely, if somebody wants to come up and have some chit chat with me, I'll take it. I definitely would take any one of you. The other thing is that I still can't see everybody that comes in. That's a shame, but yes, ma'am. That's the pony. If that's the pony, then the other one's the horse. I'll get him in here in a little bit. As soon as I get a few seconds. Yeah, if you would. Yeah, it started to snow here this afternoon or a little while ago, and it just kind of, I actually have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I was ready to go do some metal detecting in the morning, and now it's snowing pretty heavily right now. It kind of ruined my plans. If I don't get to go this weekend, I'm definitely got a couple of products that I'm going to do a little bit of a like metal detecting review for to come up with something. I want to see if I can get Nick to come in here tonight and hang out for a little bit. Loki, come on, Loki, get here, come on. Here's the other one. A scary story. How about? I don't know. It's not really Halloween. We don't have really scary stories in the wintertime. This one outweighs the other one by about 40 pounds. Yeah, Loki's a bull mastiff. He might be a little bit mixed. We bought him as a full bred, but I think they fibbed a little bit on the paperwork. The vet wasn't legit that did his shots, so we ended up with a dog that ended up with parvo. But he still ended up pretty much not as big as our last one. Our last one was about 160. He's about 135. Still a big boy. The other one's the little mean one. He's about 95 pounds of nothing but pure muscle. It's in the living room. Last I saw it.
Oh, that's right.
But anywho, they're both gigantic. They're both great dogs. They just don't like each other. So besides, let's see. So where does everybody live at? I know goats in Colorado, and a little bit of snow doesn't scare him one bit. I don't know where you're at, Cynthia. I don't know where you're at, Miss Southern Belle, and I'm not sure where you're at, Monk. I do have a basement. Attack miniature German Schnauzers. What kind of attacking do they do, or do they attack? Oh, I love Georgia. Even in the wintertime, it doesn't get super cold. Oh, I do have. Hey, Cynthia, before you go, I do have some relatives in Savannah. I got some cousins down there. I haven't been down there since 1996, if that tells you how old I'm getting to be. Southeastern Connecticut. Monk, I'd love to metal detect in your neck of the woods. I think that's probably a fantastic spot for that colonial stuff that I so long to find. And thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you. Golden Arm. Are you talking about underneath the Streamlard logo? We're going right by you this year. Marietta. I've been there one time. That was the last time I visited my cousins in Savannah. We stopped in there, I think, as a pit stop on the way down. It gets hot in there in the summer. We're going to Florida in the middle of summer this year. I don't know what I was thinking. Detección Costa Rica. Hola, mi hermano. Gosh, all you Georgians. Man, I don't know about all that. I'm not into the swamp waters. I don't think I want to get gator bit. I definitely don't like water moccasins. Copperheads. None of that's for me. Sega metal detecting. The coolest thing I found as a metal detectorist, my favorite find is I found the burnt half real just a couple months ago. I was so happy when I put the jeweler's loop on it and realized that it was a half real. I knew at that point that, that 1847 was like the last year that they made them. I knew at that point that I had my oldest silver that I'd ever found. The area that we live in is fantastic for history. However, the problem around here is that this area was heavily metal detected in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and it seems like that we're picking up scraps. It feels like we're always after, you know, the everything that was left behind, and generally that's more of the relics and the copper coins, and I'm fine with that because I like that. I would just love to have some of them big silver days like I see a lot of people have. Nick and I we just don't, you know, rarely have multi silver days and stuff like that. We're usually finding a few relics. Treasure hunting New York. I'm not sure that I remember you. Oh yeah, I keep looking. I mean, I hunt twice a week, and in the summertime even more than that. Hopefully this summer we will stock up enough footage to last us through most of the winter, and we can enjoy being inside and watch a lot of YouTube during the colder months and just put out a few videos here and there. Treasure hunting New York. We are doing well. I'm not sure I remember you. I wonder if I'm subscribed to your channel. Let's see. Oh, I am. So Treasure Hunting New York has got 201 subscribers. Last video looks like he put out was a month ago. That's probably the last one I watched was Mine Lab Vanquish Treasure Hunt, and that was a couple months ago. So if anybody is not subscribed to Mr. Metal Detecting New York, show him a little bit of love tonight. Watch a couple of his videos, leave a couple comments. I'll go back and get caught up later. Yeah, I find square nails everywhere. Metal detecting cook-off of your favorite foods. Man, I love to grill. Anything pig or beef is fantastic. We're definitely meat eaters around here. Come on, goat. What do you cook out there? Some smoked brisket. I think that sounds like a good investment this year. I've never had a smoker. Wings are good too. Yeah, in case anybody's ever interested, I definitely make my own hot sauces. My goal is to be hotter than your average buffalo type sauce, but not too hot that it doesn't taste good. I want it to have flavor, but I want you to feel the burn too. So we spend a lot of our summer harvesting our peppers that we grow. That's another fun little thing that I haven't put on here at all. Yeah, I'm sure if winter decides to get really cold around here and I don't get to metal detect, then I'm going to come up with a few things. I got a couple new lights. I have a headlamp that I'm going to use. I'm going to do this summer. I'm going to do some nighttime detecting while it's super hot, and I love it. And then I got a new, which I haven't even broke out of the box yet, but I got a new light for streaming to mount to my computer, and I got one that's portable so that I can take it with me, because I do want to get into this a little bit more often. Oh, I love YouTube. YouTube gives me motivation. It not only do I get motivation from, you know, putting out videos for my mom to watch. She loves watching, and she sits at home. She's elderly. I love that part of it. but just to build something, and and maybe, look, I know I'm not going to ever have a huge audience or something like that, but I'm making friends on here, and the thing of it is that I don't generally make friends. I tend to keep to myself on a personal level. I have, very few friends and very few people that I become close with, and on here it's different. I tend to gravitate because all these people seem to be just like me. It's a lot of fun. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's another thing. Goat, definitely put his channel up, and I'll make sure I if he definitely is going to come around a little bit, I'll definitely set him up as mod so he can drop his own links. I definitely want everybody in here to watch everybody else's stuff. Um, that's the fun part, is that everybody has something interesting to say, and I don't want to watch regular TV, so you guys are going to have to put channels out. I mean, I got to have content to watch. Yeah, and then our third, he's finally, before too much longer, he'll be able to get back out. Um, I think his elderly mother-in-law lives with them, and I think she has some serious health concerns. So, Kurt's been under wraps for a while, and Kurt is probably the better metal detectorist out of the three of us. He's definitely been at it the longest, and he's definitely he definitely has I want to say, a knack for finding the better target. He's very selective, where I dig just about everything, because I'm looking for different types of relics, and he's looking for certain things. So he's very meticulous in how he goes about his metal detecting. I have to edit his mouth quite a bit. He gets a little too quick and too excited, where he talks and uses them expletives quite a bit. But he's definitely a fun guy to play with, because he's definitely knows the hobby better than most of us. And of the three of us, he's the least shy about talking to new people. Yeah, I know, Sega Metal Detecting. I know that I've watched several videos there. I know I've watched Miss Southern Belle, and I know I watched Goat. I'm going to go back through tonight when we get done here, because I'm on the StreamYard right now, and make sure that I hit notification buttons. Amphibious Detecting, hello. I'm trying to kill a little time before the good streams come on, if that makes any sense to you. I got snowed out today. Didn't get to go detecting after work this afternoon, so I thought I'd come in here and have some conversation. I've been bringing my gigantic doggos up there. They definitely want the attention. And where are you at again, Amphibious? Nevada Metal Detecting. I like watching you too. I've been catching you since pretty much the beginning, I think. See, man, I tell you what, Nick and I have definitely we're going to try to make a couple weekends up east this year. To find some big battlefields would be fantastic to try to get to. Anything like that. We're actually we would like to find some of the English coins, or maybe some like Nick found a tomback button, and those are pretty rare around here. And then we just like to get into some of the older relics that way. definitely some Rev War stuff would be fantastic. Just an opportunity to hunt some of them fields where them battles were at, and Rev War stuff. Anything old French, English, we definitely crave that history. We strive for it here. That's a lot of. We hunted a farm this winter, and we chose it because it was an 1820 settled farm, and the owner of it was a Rev War veteran. Now we got out there and we didn't find absolutely anything, but it was very. The thought of the man that built that farmhouse was a Revolutionary War veteran that came over here and fought in that war, and then moved to where we live, which is in southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, was impressive. And that we spent the whole day out there. We made a very short video that basically showed us where we were at, and that was basically it. We found like one button, and there was nothing else that was old there. Hydra Comics, I think I seen you on Marlon's stream, but welcome. Let me get you up there a little bit. Hey Hydra, why don't you tell me in a quick detail? Why don't you tell me a little bit about what your channel's about? And if anybody would like to come up and hang out, I definitely don't like talking to the monitor. I don't mind talking to chat, but I would like to make conversation with people. So what kind of comics do you really like? I mean, what is your number one? And Monk, absolutely. It's I don't feel like anything that I'm doing right now is fantastic. This is the second time I've broadcast, and I'm in here trying to learn how to do it and make it flow, and to get people want to come in here and say, hey. About the only comic that I have, Hydra, is I've got the James O'Barr version of The Crow. That's probably one of the only ones that I have. I love comic books. I don't read them, but I think they're really neat. I love the art format of it. Yeah, Archie Comics. That's something else. Anybody that in the evenings, I have a very trying job during the day. Usually it might keep me late in the afternoon. But I'm going to add Mr. Amphibious Detecting in here so I can have a conversation with somebody. I'll bring him up right now. Yay!
Asked and received.
How you doing, my friend?
Good. Yourself?
Not too bad. I think the last video of yours I caught was your year in review last year, and but anybody that I get a hold of, I definitely try to support and make a few new friends. Now you said you're in Saratoga?
I'm just south of there, yeah. So I live in it's called Ballston Lake, but yeah, I'm just south of Saratoga. You think that'd mean I'd find a lot of battle stuff? Nah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's just all luck of the draw on where you're allowed to hunt.
Yeah.
So what do you get to hunt mainly up there?
I do a lot underwater, but I kind of just roam the earth. I'm sure you're kind of the same way, Just you never know. I think that's the beauty of this.
Well, that like our main format is we snag out old maps, and then we try to find anything that was pre-1880 where there was houses at, and then usually we try to hit the farmers up because they're generally the most generous with their land. And then we go out there and hopefully find the homestead, and hopefully it was close to the way it was on the map. And every now and again we get lucky and find a few good things.
Yeah, the farmers are awesome. Salt of the earth people. Yeah,
generally they're the nicest. It's a little tougher when you go to do yards. And I was I was just starting to explain it earlier, but we're in an area that got heavily metal detected in the 80s and the 90s, and then and a lot of people were sloppy, and a lot of people left a bad taste in everybody's mouth about the hobby, and nobody's very trustworthy around here. And then every place that you go that seems to be historic and well worth detecting is either been hammered, or the people that live there, somebody didn't fill their holes properly, tore up their yard, and they don't really want to let you in. So we're out trying to earn and build trust.
That's all you can do.
Absolutely.
Success with that?
I'm sorry?
Have you been having a lot of success with that?
Well, we've just started gaining a little bit of ground. What we're trying to do is that there's a lot of places around here that are fantastic to hunt. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get in with the local historical societies, and actually promote the history preservation of the area. And then once we got some set in stone communication, that we're gonna put up links. And then when we run our videos, and we're getting 100, 200, 300 views, between us. But we're going to put up a donations link and see if we can help generate some money for these historical societies that aren't getting any funding. And we're not here to make any money. We're trying to help preserve the local history, because the Ohio River Valley is full of it. I mean, when we settled going west, everybody stopped on this river valley, and that's how it went until you got to the Mississippi. So there is a lot of early 1800 stuff here, and not a lot of people doing anything to promote it or preserve it. So that was one of Nick and I's biggest plans for this year, was to build a reputation that lets people know that we're trying to help preserve history. We're trying to generate some income for these, so that they can do more with advertising and open houses for some of these places. And so our goal is to find good stuff this year, but try to help take care of our local communities. And we got 2 of them that we're trying to help.
Now, where about in Ohio are you?
I am not in Ohio. Okay. So I'm in northern Kentucky.
Okay.
And I'm halfway between Louisville and Cincinnati, right on the Ohio River. It's a small town called Carrollton, Kentucky. Nick is on the other side of the river in Indiana, and him and Kurt live in Vevey, Indiana, which is, if you've ever heard of Madison, Indiana, it's between Louisville and Cincinnati on the Indiana side. They're closer to Cincinnati. They're about 20 miles east. So they're a lot closer to Cincinnati, but 2 super historical towns.
And what method are you using to raise money? Are you doing it through?
Right now, we're the Switzerland County Historical Society is one of the counties that we're trying to get in with, and all we did was we basically asked them to come up with to set up a PayPal account, and and we were just going to set up a donation for it, and then basically donate the first 30 seconds of our video and maybe the last 20 seconds to providing some assistance for these guys. And whether if you're in the local area or not, your time's just as valuable as your money, because they have here that's was built in 1798 and has absolutely no funding. And everybody that goes out there and takes care of it and does the maintenance, it's all voluntary. The historical society here about 10 years ago just died, and people stopped doing events for it and fundraisers and stuff like that. And like I said, we're just, they don't know us from Adam. So basically, and all we are is history lovers. And so we've put our names in the hat to try to get in a little bit to, just to get our foot in the door. And then maybe at that point in time, our idea was to, through our channels, just promote giving them a little bit of money. And I don't think it's really going to take a lot. I think, you get a few donations here and there, plus the time we're willing to spend, and I think we can make a difference.
That's awesome. Now, have you been promoting what you're doing through the local township Facebook pages and stuff?
I'm a member of a lot of the close to local Facebook groups. The metal detecting clubs around here are non-existent. There's one that is 2 counties over that we tried to join up with, and really they never responded. So I don't even know if they're still having meetings or not. The other thing that we had talked about is actually starting a club here and seeing if that we could actually get a few more people that are interested, because yeah, once, like I said, once it went dry around here and these guys came through here and burned through this area, it didn't seem like nobody really wanted to. I can go down to this is kind of a quick funny bit. I can go down to the local park and I'll get funnier looks by metal detecting than a guy selling drugs out of his car over on the corner. They will call the police and have the police come down there and see what I'm doing before they will the guy selling meth.
Yeah, that's very true. I found the same thing in some of the cities by me here. They're not big. There's Schenectady and Albany and stuff like that. You'll be on the park and you'll see heroin needles on the ground, and people would want to give you a hard time about detecting.
And it wasn't about a month ago. We have 2 parks in the county, and was up at the one, and I was cleaning up trash that the county workers had left in the park from the ball fields. It was like empty baseball boxes that I was picking up trash and throwing it in the dumpster, and a woman called the sheriff when she saw me digging a hole, and she has just watched me pick up, I don't know, half a garbage bag full of trash before I even started detecting, because I was there to make a video. And in order to make the video, I felt like I needed to clean the area up a little bit, because I didn't want it to look like I was in a trash dump.
Right.
And then but when I started digging holes, the sheriff came over and was asking me if I was filling my holes. I politely told him that if you can find a spot where I haven't filled in my hole, or you can see where I've been, I'll go home.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it is.
People might want to see a 5-second clip where you show them the before and after cleaning that stuff up, because people appreciate that story. They know they like to feel that they're part of something that you did was making the world a better place.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that metal detecting has a bad reputation. I mean, I think it still does. And if you can do anything to promote something that's just good for your community, that's not costing anybody anything. I think in that video I put a clip of cleaning up the trash. I definitely turned the camera off when the police officer showed up, because all I could think of is what could go wrong if I recorded him. You know what I mean?
Well, I think too. I mean, and I'm sure part of it was the same way. You want to portray, if you're trying to attract people to the hobby, you don't want to portray something like that if you're trying to get people in your area. I know that for me, aside from YouTube, like what's been really helpful for me in connecting with people in the area is sharing the pictures and the finds on those local township pages. And you'll find so many people that really, they didn't know that they were into history, but they're old and they're into history, and they're just looking for someone to share that with. And the next thing you know, they're opening doors for you.
Yeah, I never even really thought about. I mean, that's a very good point. I never really thought about the angle of these, just like a community page, just trying like on Facebook, because
Yeah.
I generally despise Facebook. Everybody asks me to be friends on there, and all I want to be a part of is these groups. And I never really thought about just posting on a community page. Hey, I found this at such and such place. Thank you for letting me detect yada yada yada. I might take that as a good solid piece of advice and use it for sure.
Try for example, one of the spots here up the street, and it's not a park anymore. It's all private residences, but it used to be a trolley park where the trolley used to have an amusement park there on this lake, and it's been gone since 1927. So I'll take some pictures of stuff I find and write up a little history on it and share it with people, and they go nuts over it. They may not watch the video, they may not care about any of that, but you start meeting a couple people, and they want you to go to their house, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm not much of a door knocker either.
I know, I'm the same way, especially not right now with the whole.
Well, that definitely made it worse. And pardon this question, but what was your first name?
Patrick.
Patrick, I'm Shane. It's nice to meet you in this kind of a manner. I mean, I remember the damn website, but I don't. Some of the names I remember once I'm told. But do you have anybody that you dig with, or are you digging by yourself?
So that's the tough part. Most of the time I'm by myself. I try and dig with other people, But it can be difficult when you find people that you have good chemistry with. So I've been digging with a guy a lot lately, but no one has the kind of time like I have, I guess. Like family, kids, especially young kids. I got another guy I like digging with, but he's just retired, but his father lives with him, so he can't go out at all right now, trying to protect his father from getting sick and stuff. So I do it a lot alone, which is, I envy everybody else that's doing it with other people, because that's the joy in this hobby, is sharing it.
Well, the best part about it is that the job that I have, the guy that I dig with all the time, Nick, he works directly under me, and we work the same schedule at this place. So, I mean, he's got little kids, which kind of changes his time frame around that he can dig. But most every time that I can go out and dig, it's available for him too. Like, we can sneak out of work 15 minutes early and get 3 hours in the afternoon, that type of thing. So that makes it fantastic. And then the other guy is retired. He's on disability. He's almost blind, and I find it always amazing that what he can find, because he can't see hardly. He has one eye's almost completely gone, and the other is about 20%. So he generally can't tell you the difference between a Barber and a Rosie. He just knows it's a silver dime. So I have to help him, and he drives a scooter, which is about the only thing he can legally ride around. So he can't go too far. And then I started chauffeuring him around a few years ago so that he could go. We got a couple very old sites that we go to, but they're a good distance away from the house, and so I make sure he gets there. But I'm dying for this COVID thing to be over so he can get back out, because I know he's itching.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll get there soon enough. I'm hopeful anyway. Shoot, I want 2021 to be a good digging season for everybody.
Oh my gosh, yes, sir. Hey, Scrappin', I see you, buddy. How are you doing, sir? We keep looking at the news around here, and in the last week, I guess the one thing that they keep focusing on is positivity rate and COVID. And ours, in the 3 states that are surrounding here, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, it's dropped below 10%. Hospitalizations are going down. Everybody's coming out of the high risk zones, and we're going into more of a moderate. So
yeah,
I'm definitely
up here in my area, like Albany and stuff like that, where I work. It's pretty high, but with the vaccinations and just the inherent everyone getting it kind of thing, it's dropping pretty quick. And they're refusing at this point to keep the kids home, and everyone's going back to school and stuff like that, and they have been. So I think it's been helping to kind of accelerate the recovery. But that's my opinion. I just want to go out and dig some good stuff.
So, and then the other thing was I worked all the way through it. I was fortunate enough to stay on, even though my business was closed. Being a maintenance worker, they let us stay, and I knock on wood, I was thankful that I didn't have to spend any extra time off. Although I would have loved some extra detecting time, but I was glad to keep my paycheck.
Yeah, for sure.
Digologist, I see, stopped in for a second. I seen. Hey, I want to give another quick shout out here. Scrap and Hoard and Tinker and Fun. He melts down and makes blanks, and he has a stream that he promotes every week and runs. And I didn't think that would be my type of gig to get into and sit and listen to, but I find myself in his stream all the time. I don't always necessarily say anything. I know he was working to get his hours to get monetized, but he puts on a pretty decent stream to go sit through and watch. And there's a lot of great people in there. There's a few metal detectorists and a lot of pneumicists, and they're all in there. I think this whole people that even make the blanks and stuff like that, make their own coins. I think this community is all about the same, and it's and all the people are about the same. I started for my mom, giving her something to watch, and I didn't realize how much I would actually like the people that I'm meeting in here. And then there's my favorite Canadian right there, Miss Digging. Liz, thank you. We really appreciate you. I love watching you. You have such enthusiasm for what you do. You definitely inspire a lot of people.
No doubt.
Yeah, I turn her on consistently. We she's just one of them that seems to have everything going on. And when it's snowing like this, these live streams kind of get through the day. Anybody else that I missed? Goat, are you sharing links, buddy? Because I know I'm not on YouTube, so stick anybody's link up there that you see. Is you got anything coming up, Patrick?
Well, we had some snow, so I think my ability to land detect is now going to shift to chainsawing a hole in the ice and hopping in the water this weekend. So
you're going to metal detect in that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully it produces something. Last year wasn't too successful, so I spent some time this summer trying to find some areas that would be a little bit better for underwater detecting. But as far as there's some constraints. So like I can't go underwater. I can go up to my neck, and that's as deep as I can go. But it can't be rocky on the bottom. It can't be too muddy that the stuff sank 2 feet down. You got to have it just right.
I will be experimenting with beaches this summer. I've never really gotten into the wet. I'll probably have to. I guess I'm going to use my Simplex, but I really think that an Equinox would be fantastic for the beach. I know my impact is not waterproof, so I'm not going to use that for it. But I don't know about sawing under ice and going in there. That seems like that's some extreme stuff right there.
Do you hunt creeks in the water with the Simplex during the warmer months?
I have not yet, and we are going to actually. There's several that we've been watching some of the other guys that go out in the creeks in the middle of the summer and stuff like that, and they seem to be killing it. So since we're in a valley that's rich with a deep river and a lot of tributaries that's off of that, that's going to be one of the expansions we do this spring and summer. We're going to float around out there and stay cool.
Yeah, and the Simplex works great in the water. It does.
Yeah, I found some of the subtle differences that make it a $250 detector over under an $800 detector. But as far as pure depth goes, I may not always get an iron signal correct with it. An iron over another high tone, but I get depth with it, and I found some of my best finds this year with it, and I have no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah, and I generally I swing a Deus most of the time. Sometimes half the time I guess I'm using an Equinox, but I'll tell you, comparing a Simplex to a Deus, there is a lot of similarities in the way they work. And I think that if I wanted to compare a Simplex to kind of the Equinox, those signals that the Simplex is picking up on that you generally dig in are iron, I would dig them with a Deus, no doubt about it. And a lot of times, that's an axe head, or that's a cool old iron relic, So I never cry about digging up iron, that's for sure.
Well, I got a tendency to constantly refurbish iron stuff.
Yeah.
Like this. Let's see if I can get it in here. This iron. This was actually a good signal. It was about 16 inches down. It doesn't have a maker's mark on it, but it had only a few layers of rust on it. The handle was gone, but it makes a fantastic bookend or paperweight. And it's still got the detail, and it came out of the same site where I found my half real. We have found, several 150-year-old, 200-year-old iron relics in there, and they're definitely worth finding.
Oh yeah, and just imagine, even if that was a piece of iron that wasn't cool, you know how it goes. Maybe there was a real that was being masked by that thing anyway.
Yeah, that's caught. Goat says that you see, I'm not, is that, now there's two of those guys. One of them's in Florida, one of them's in England. And that's the England guy, Jeff? I bet it is. Well, speaking of XP, hey, Alabama Dirt Digger, that is one machine that I have never had the pleasure to get a hold of, is anything made by XP. And I really would like to. I watch a lot of European guys that swear by the Deus. What is the new one? The ORX, the newer. Yep. What is that price range for something like that? I mean, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, Liz could tell you what the ORX is in Canadian dollars, I guess. I don't know what it is in US. I don't know what it is, period, to be honest with you. I'm not.
What's the Deus in US? About 1,500?
It's somewhere around there. It's a couple of years since I bought it. But.
Yeah, I'm really curious about some of those other machines that I haven't had the benefit of getting my hands on. You know, I played with the Garretts. I'm very familiar with them. I've played with the E-Track and the Equinox. I've had great success with both of them. I haven't really recorded much of it. I've been kind of, once I bought my Impact from Nokta, and it was so programmable to my liking that I never put it down, and that's why I went ahead and bought a Simplex.
Yeah.
I want to branch out a little bit, and XP seems like someplace that I would really like to go, because they say that you can set up your own programs, and it's really nice like that. And I guess you could program yourself out of some good targets.
Yep.
But you could also, you could really fine tune it to find exactly what you're looking for as well.
I think the biggest problem, I mean, generally with like a Deus, I think some of the biggest problems that people have with it is where they take it. Because for me, I have it set up pretty sensitive. So if I wanted to go to a park, you would hate yourself, because you would just be digging aluminum foil all day long.
You'd be chattery.
Well, it's really, it's not a very chattery machine. It hits really hard on signals. So it really makes you think that it's a better target than it is. It's really, really good in iron on these old sites. But it does like bottle caps. It does like foil, and you can program that stuff out. But for my experience, is like, as soon as you start trying to program that get away from that, it loses its charm for finding some of those better things that have been passed over.
So you deal with the good with the bad with the high sensitivity. Now, see, I've got to say that one of my favorite things to do right now is take the Simplex, put the SP24 4x9 coil on that thing that's very narrow, and I can get in the park and just hammer out coin after coin after coin, and it's nonstop. You can, with the way that coil is shaped, and I think it's made better than the stock coil. It's very competitive.
I desperately need to get one of those for the water, because a big coil in the water is the enemy. It really is. You can't see what you're doing, so you're using, you have to like pinpoint it so precisely to scoop it out.
And that's the other thing, is that we're definitely we're going to try these creek inlets this spring as soon as it warms up just a little bit. Here, I'll put him up there. Oh, Marlon, I didn't even see you come in. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find a time to get on here and broadcast when everybody that you like is always on, and I would prefer to be watching. DF Digger, hey DF, did my subscription thing or my notification bell fix? That's a question. I had some issue with my notification bell the other day. A lot of people couldn't click on it. It was grayed out. It said I was in violation of the Made for Children thing, but it's got to be some kind of glitch. I'm going to put that back up for anybody else that wants to come up for a few minutes. I think I'm only going to stay on no more than 12 more minutes anyway. So,
what'd you do to clean that iron up?
I got a wire wheel at work, and I slowly pick the rust off with it, and then I oil it and buff it and go back over the wheel, and it's very meticulous. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to clean it, but I do axe heads and stuff like that as well. The thing is getting the surface rust off, and hopefully you get to a good solid piece of metal underneath.
Yeah. I'm going to try. You have to do the same thing to get all that crust off to really be effective, I think, with electrolysis. But I got to play around with that some here soon.
I actually made my own. I know that like the ugly box that people's buying, but I was taking a cell phone charger and cutting the end of it off and splitting the wires and putting it in some salt water worked out really well.
Yeah, I've got some battery chargers that I was going to use, and then I have these carbon rods to use as the anode. I think it is. Maybe I'm confusing it with a cathode.
I'm not sure what the terminology is, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to try that out. If you want, let me know, and I'll send you one of these carbon rods. They're supposed to be the best one you can use because the carbon doesn't deteriorate at all like a rebar does.
Yeah, I used to I made a little small one in over here on my table. It used to be a breakfast nook. Now it's a metal detecting finds cleaning and display table.
That happens.
It kind of happens when you take over the house. But I made one in there, and I was just using a cell phone charger, an iron nail, some salt water, and whatever I was trying to work on. And the only thing I noticed was it was really slow going with the very low voltage. Liz wants to know where you get the carbon rods.
So the carbon rods. So what these are old solid state battery cores, and I find these things out detecting because they're always in bottle dumps. That's where they are. So if you know any bottle diggers, you can tell them to save these things. But originally these things were like that big around with this carbon core in the center, and then there's a copper end on the end here. And but if you ever see these things, that's what they are. They're a carbon rod, and they're supposed. I mean, I guess I've not used one, but they're supposed to be where it's at because they don't deteriorate under electricity like that. They don't. You just wipe them off and they're good to go.
Well, that sounds like a good deal for a more permanent fixture. Yeah, no doubt. I was going to say we've only found like one bottle dump, and it's a city dump, and then the star of a lifetime here lately, Mr. Live Stream on Sunday himself.
Hey guys,
what's up, Marlon?
Just jumped on. I was watching the Copperheads, but then I seen my buddies were over here hanging out.
Well, see, when I came on, I didn't see anybody, and that was what my goal was. Is I didn't see anybody else broadcasting, so I thought I got home.
Yeah, because the Copperheads never put up their event beforehand. They just go live all of a sudden. So
well, that was kind of my plan too. So
they're always at the same time. I shouldn't interrupt you, sorry, but they're always at the same time. They expect everyone to know.
Well, I don't. What time did they come on, by the way?
It's 8 Eastern.
I made it on a little after, like 7:30 or something like that.
You win. Yes.
I won. I got on first. We went out to eat. I went out to eat tonight. I had a margarita, and I was bringing my dogs on. You said you wanted dog videos. What was that all about?
Oh, no. Tripwire told me that there's some sort of dog Super Bowl going on. Not next weekend, but the next weekend after or something.
Yeah.
So he wanted us to round up metal detectorists that brought their dogs with them and do a dog episode for our creator meet and greet.
Are you over there asleep now? Wow.
See?
He won't come
but he's busy. He said he's busy. I got to fix my lights here, guys. They're all cranked up mechanic style. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. He said something about dogs, so that was going to be my plan. I was gonna try to do something with my two animals. I was telling the wife that I was going to have to make some kind. I didn't know what you wanted, so I was going to make some kind of video with the doggos. Hey, I got some new lighting for streaming that I'm going to play with here in a little while and practice with, but it's portable. I can take it with me, and then as soon as I can, I'm going to do some outdoor digging, but I'm not digging outdoors in the winter with my new headlamp. It's too cold. It started snowing today, and I instantly decided not to go metal detecting tonight.
Yeah. Yep. We're getting snow again, finally. I was waiting for it.
I just want everything to stay thawed so I can swing effectively all the time. I want to go 3 and 4 days a week again.
Well, here in Alberta, we don't have a choice. It's winter, and the ground freezes really hard.
So how deep is the freeze? How many inches of ground?
I don't know. How far?
I mean, Have
I've
you
never
tried?
taken a pickaxe and gone and chopped at it till I found that I was in the clay already, which is too deep. So it's frozen down to a few feet for sure, 4, 5, 6 feet down, frozen solid.
So the one day that we went when the ground froze completely, we were 3.5 inches of pure of what I call permafrost.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you could just break it up and snap it. It was a good 18 inches.
Yeah.
Odd. I feel blessed. I feel blessed that I'm not that far north.
Well, if you ever do come up this far north, I'll take you around.
Well, that's the thing.
And
We're gonna make some trips.
where do you dig, Patrick? Like if you dig in the bush, it's fine. You can make a big nasty hole in the winter.
Mhm.
But if I go into the park, Main Street downtown, and I make a bunch of freaking
No,
pickaxe holes in the grass, they're going to be mighty pissed off come spring, right?
I was
So-
implying that he come in the spring.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'm saying yeah.
I
But some people dig. So there's lots of people who are making holes in the forest and stuff. But
I do well. See, and that's the other thing is we've got another couple wooded areas left to dig that we haven't dug yet this winter. New permissions, and we're going to try to hit those going forward. But the one that I'm going to brag about that we hopefully get to go this weekend is a Southern style 1850s plantation style house with 20 to 30 some odd acres on there, and it's we're giving up everything to the homeowner, but I can't wait to dig it, and I love that picture. That's the thing that I got.
you got to give it all back.
That's the picture I saw at like 3 a.m. on my phone last night when I rolled over and said, "What the hell is he doing this late?"
Yeah, I haven't changed my avatar back yet to the regular one. But I think you just do it like this. There we
Yep,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, that one I just whipped it up really quick and went live. Adventures with Goat was supposed to meet me, but he fell asleep.
What time was that?
I went live. My local time was 1 minute after midnight.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and it said you streamed 2 hours ago, and I was up at 6 a.m. or something. And I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah.
How do you make that?
It encoded really fast, or processed really fast. Sometimes when you do them during the day at the busy time, it takes a StreamYard a long time. But this one was back out and ready to go quick.
Well, I know that basically I'm coming to the end of the time that I would planned on being on here tonight. Got Patrick, I appreciate the introduction and you coming on and hanging with me for a little bit. It made it go super fast.
My pleasure.
Go, Jeff. I truly appreciate you sitting out there and sharing a few links and kind of handling the chat. And Marlon, you're fastly becoming one of my favorite people. Nick and I, we have conversation about you at work, and I really like what you're bringing to the table, and you're basically getting us to put ourselves in front of the camera a little bit. And anybody in the chat that I haven't said hello to, Metal Sharks, Liz, I love you. You're great. DF Digger, I appreciate you very much. Goat, you're my hero. Cheetah, Digologist, Miss Southern Belle was in here earlier. Even Cynthia, she showed up for a little bit and had to go to another deal. All y'all are fantastic, and I'm glad to be able to. I'm starting to put the word friend in with some of you guys, and that's kind of nice, especially from a guy that doesn't really try to make a lot of friends or have very many of them. Very selective. So
Same here, buddy. Same here.
It's
always amazed.
I'll be looking for everybody's videos. Everybody that's in here tonight, I know I've got the bell hit, so I look forward to when you're going live, Marlon. I don't think I can join you at 2 and 3 a.m. my time.
No, those are experimental. I put in the description, I'm testing the time zones to see who shows up and pops on with me for a chat.
But
yes.
But here was my goal, though. My other one is that I was talking to one of my Russian guys that on Instagram, because there's a lot of the Russians, they do the Instagram a lot. And I talked about coming on at about 6 o'clock in the morning, my time, 5:30 and 6, and seeing how many of them would actually pop on if I dropped a link into Instagram. And most of them basically said that they would show up. I don't know how I'm going to communicate with them very well, but I'm definitely going to try that at some point. So at like 3 a.m, if your phone dings, I apologize. That I'm not trying to wake anybody up, but I just want to see how many of the Russians and Australians I can get over here early in the morning. But it is a good idea. And since we're not going to probably dig a lot this weekend, I'll probably jump in sometime during the day, one of the next 3 days. I got a 3-day weekend. I worked an extra day last time. But thanks, Patrick. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. You're welcome anytime, Marlon. If we have a free few minutes at work on Sunday, I will try to jump in with you guys for a little bit.
For sure. For sure.
Everybody else, good night, and thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace, everybody.